Welcome back to the show. This is KDS Reviews. This is a review of the new Tom Cruise movie, Mission Impossible: A Final Reckoning. Now, it kind of picks up right where the end of the first of Dead Reckoning, Part 1. Now, this is about the evil AI that wants to take over the world and cause a nuclear war. Kind of sounds like the plot, the Terminator 2, doesn't it? This movie kind of gives you a flashback of all the stuff that has gone on from the other previous Mission Impossible movies. Now, if you haven't seen the first one, Dead Reckoning, I would advise you to see that. I think you could probably maybe get away with not seeing it, but I would think that would be a good refresher if you haven't even seen it. See that first and then immediately go out and see this movie right here. You know, this movie has 2 action sequences in it. They kind of go on too long. We're going to talk about that too later on. You know, there's an underwater scene that is wow. It's like some of those underwater scenes that they did in some of these video games. It goes on for too long. I mean, way too long. This movie could have been edited. That could have been edited to maybe a 15-minute sequence. It felt like it was like 40 minutes long. There's an airplane action suite sequence in this movie that's just it's almost like Wile E. Coyote. There are parts in there that's like, you know, that's a little bit too much now. It's kind of takes you out of the sequence of the movie, kind of jars you out of it. Like, that's not realistic. It's just, you know, it kind of is, that part right there could have been done better to me. And then they constantly in the movie, I noticed this too. They constantly keep reminding you, okay, this is what we're going to do, and this is the reason why. And then they go out and do it. And then after they get through doing it, they go back again and go, well, this is the reason why. Now, remember, it's like they didn't even know what was going on. And they knew they didn't know what was going on. And they were constantly reminding you, you know, this is what we're trying to do. Okay, we heard that an hour ago. You know, every time you got this thing accomplished, now you go back and say it again. Okay, now this is the reason why. It's like they're constantly reminding you, now this is the plot of the movie. We know what the plot of the movie is. The question is, do you know what the plot of the movie is? Because you constantly spend the whole movie reminding us of what the plot is. You know, this goes back to one of my earlier episodes where I was comparing Mission Impossible movies to the Mission Impossible TV shows. Okay? There really isn't any teamwork in here. This is Tom Cruise and Tom Cruise only. This was the major difference between the TV show and the movie. Is that they were all involved, but it feels like, you know, once again, this is where the 2 entities split. You know, it was just all Tom Cruise. It really wasn't any of his help. Now, Haley Atwell was in this movie also. Simon Pegg was in this movie, but they were really like side characters. They really didn't help as much as you think they did, you know. Overall, like I said, this movie isn't a bad movie. It isn't a bad movie. You know, it also isn't a very good movie. I will tell you that, be honest with you. This movie could use a lot of editing in it, too. It comes in at a whopping 2 hours and 49 minutes long. Yeah, 2 hours and 49 minutes long. You know, that's a bit long for a movie, you know, especially a movie of that caliber. I would probably give this movie, well, I'll say this. If you've seen the other Mission Impossibles, you're probably going to be more satisfied with this movie than I am. I've seen some of them, but not all of them. You know, you're probably going to be happy because it do some reveals, you know, and then there's another thing in the movie that really could have been cut out. There's a reveal in this movie, and you'll know what it is. That really could have been cut out because it really didn't move the movie along. It had the potential to do that, but it didn't move the movie along. The only problem is I have with this movie is it's going to be kind of hard to recommend this movie as a rewatch. I've seen it, you know, I was pretty glad I saw it, you know. It was okay. Like I said, it wasn't a bad movie. But the thing is, it's going to be a hard rewatch. At 2 hours and 49 minutes, throwing the trailers, we're looking at 3 hours and 20 minutes. I'm just letting you know that ahead of time, so eat before you leave. This is KDS Reviews. KDS Reviews is seen every Wednesday and every Sunday. If you like this type of content, like, subscribe, and share. I would really like to see some comments from some people that have seen this movie. I'm interested in what you think about it. Because, like I said, I think if you follow the Mission Impossible movies, I think you're going to like it a little bit better than kind of cherry-pick seeing some of them. It's like I said, it's not bad. It's not a bad movie. It's just not a very good movie. And if you want to see a video about how I compare the Mission Impossible movies to the Mission Impossible TV shows, then watch this video right here. This is KDS Reviews, and I'll see you in the next video.